Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. This is Ferret, aka Sawyer, running my first game since my move, so this is quite exciting for me. And this is another game that I'm running on the Gauntlet, which is gauntlet-rpg.com. I found all these wonderful people on the Gauntlet, and we are going to see if I can run a game with 5 players with superheroes that are superstars. I did it once before. I'm pretty sure I can do it again. I use any pronoun said with respect. I typically use to he, him, but I'll answer to anything. Same wise name. I use Ferret. I use Sawyer. Whichever is easier for you to remember or more fun for you to say, go ahead. And we have a wonderful team of superheroes in the veins of Ecstatics, the upcoming Excellence comic, and young blood, but with plot and eyes and feet, as someone brought up, feet. And hopefully we will have much fewer, the two meat fridges strapped together with bandoliers, or the stick figures with posture problems won't be in effect this time. And so with that, I'm going to go in character keeper order to introduce our players. Then we will probably do a different order to introduce characters. So, starting off, Steven, would you introduce yourself?
Hey, uh, I'm Steven, he, him. I've been playing on the Gauntlet for a little less than half a year now, I think. I have no presence anywhere on the internet, so do not try to find me. And I think that is it.
Up next, the ferret's best buddy, Rich.
Oh, thanks. I'm Rich Rogers. I use the he/him pronouns, and I play with the Gauntlet and run with the Gauntlet. Have been for a while now, and I'm a part of this podcast about Power for the Apocalypse games called Plus One Forward. You should check out.
Though I disagree with everyone in the playbook being in the Mad Max Fury Road being a driver, but we've had this conversation off screen. So, up next, the returning member to Generation Xtra, Ares.
So yeah, name's Erez. I've been on the Gauntlet for a few months, although kind of off lately because of the course that I'm in. I don't really have any internet personality either. Um, so you can look for me. Have fun.
The Where's Waldo of social media. Up next, Puckett.
Hey, I'm Puckett, he, him pronouns. I am currently in my underground lair with a couple of cats. Glad to be here.
Okay, so we have a steel arm in a chair with a cat. Nice.
Wow.
And finally, Stephen Watkins. Would you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Steven. I use the pronouns he, him. Because we have two Stevens on the call, I'll also go by Q and answer to Q, just the letter Q. So I'll probably be called Q most of the time, and that's fine. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. So,
And you can also, as a thought now, you can call me Steven S. if that also reduces confusion.
yeah, and I feel like I'm back in high school again. And so I will start in reverse character keeper order for the characters. So Q, would you introduce us to your character? Just introduce the character, hero name, real name, look, and the moves you took. We'll go around and then do influence and every other thing.
Okay. I am playing the protege. Hero name is Owe, and she uses pronouns she, her, female, indigenous, lean body, loose clothes. Her costume is very protective, very armored, plated kind of thing. Her abilities are weapons and gadgets and hacking. She goes by her non-hero name as Miss Mitchell. She has an indigenous first name, Owe High. And do you need moves?
Yes, if you don't need to describe what the moves do, but just the ones you took.
Yeah, I took been reading the files, so I know a lot about the different superheroes in town. Venting frustration, which helps me directly engage whenever I'm angry, and mindful surroundings, which helps me assess the situation.
Okay.
Oh, I should also mention that I have a mentor. His name is Stitches, and Stitches is enclosed in a power suit, and he's provided the team, our team, with a hidden base that has a supercomputer and security equipment.
Oh, that's going to be very useful. Do you mind if I like wind some of the stuff that you got as the hidden base or mentor resources into like the Generation Xtra teams resources? Like maybe he added these in to the main base you guys will be filmed at, like the
Right.
Real Road Rules kind of style.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Yeah, but I think like with the hidden place, there's a place where the cameras can't get to.
Right. And I think the security equipment is basically the filming equipment, the surveillance equipment.
Yeah. Okay. Up next, Puckett, which introduces us to your character.
Do you also want background at this moment or no?
No, we're just your hero name, real name, look, abilities, and moves.
I am Puckett. I'll be playing Tasha Blaze. She is a Latina woman with laughing eyes, rebellious clothing, and why on earth would she wear a costume when she can have a beat-up army jacket? You know? And superhero names, seriously? That's just like so last week. And her moves are Mary Contrary, Are You Watching Closely, and Criminal Mind.
Thank you very much. And up next, we have Eras with your character.
Yep. His name is Bounty. He's been out of the earth for a while. He's a man. He's probably white under that mask. He has a compact body. He's a little short. Has weird extraterrestrial clothing and a very weird mask. That's I was searching for one online and found this thing called Killbook, and he looked cool. So yeah, that's how he looks. His moves would be I hate calling the cavalry, and sharpened eyes, and he has a bunch of stuff because he's nomad. So depending on how much influence I give to other people, I get bonuses. We'll see if I get them ever.
And the two items that you are very special to you from your nomad days?
An anti-grav pack, because of course, and a cloaking rig, because of course.
Ah, nice. And next, Rich.
I will be playing the Legacy Playbook. The Legacy Playbook is in the vein of like several generations of a particular power suite. It's very often family oriented. Think of The Flash or The Flash. Also Shazam a little bit to a degree because the Shazam, the Marvel family. Those are a couple that I think of. Definitely DC in orientation. The Batman, thank you. That is a great suggestion. Except not. My character's name is. I started to say something mean about Batman, but I'm not gonna because people love Batman. The character's name is Neutron. He is Korean American. The legacy began in Korea, so a few of his ancestors are Korean, and yeah, he's got star-themed stuff going on. When he masks up, you can't really see discernible features for him other than his jet black hair and his excellent athletic build. And I think we talked to him. So he's got moves around pulling his punches when directly engaging a threat, which is going to be great. And fighting the good fight. Oh, sorry, that was the one. And then never give up, never surrender. When he takes a powerful blow from someone far greater power than him, he can use that instead of the basic move. So that's pretty awesome. And he also has a time passes move, which means that you guys will have to pay attention to if I'm upholding the legacy which is probably something I should probably define for you guys. So I'll work on that. And he's got a bunch of people who are around.
So do you want to introduce the 4 people from your legacies?
Sure. So the sorry, there's where people have put in moves now. Everything's like the spacing on things, and it's hard to see some stuff. So let me change the. All right, we have Red Giant, who is still active and prominent in the city. Pulsar is retired and quite judgmental. I'm imagining that Pulsar is Korean and probably prefers to speak Korean, totally speak English, but doesn't want to. Yellow Dwarf is the next possible member of the legacy. And then our greatest opponent that our legacy has ever faced, who is still at large, is Void. So it's all star themed.
Thank you very much. Reminds me of my favorite Mage the Ascension source book. And last but not least, our transformed Stephen S.
Hey there. I'm playing Hedera, she, her, whose real name is Courtney Radikins. Yeah, she is a heavy-set woman, flesh model with blank growths and green-tinged infected eyes. She's aware of it. She is the one like non-photogenic member of the group that was brought in. Like not I she like not to say that that traditional beauty standards are correct, but she is aware of it. She is the token one brought in to make it look like the show didn't want to support traditional beauty standards.
Well, if you notice your the team's Professor X or Starfire, however you want to consider her, she would definitely be about promoting your beauty standards.
Okay. Cool.
Which I mean, one of the things I think I'm going to be doing is everyone's final question for your backgrounds is, why is the team important? I think if you'd prefer, you can answer, why did you sign a contract to be on this team? But anyway, those are our teammates. We have a lovely group of people. Let's, I think I'll do how the team came together, then the relationships, then influence, if that gels with everyone. And how the team came together is thankfully due to Chris Newton. I have a sheet telling me in which order to do this in. So we will start off with the Nomad. We had to deal with a danger you'd met while traveling the Farscapes. What was it, and how did we send it away?
I'm not sure what happened yet, but well, there's a reason I'm called Bounty, and it's not because I'm a bounty hunter out there in space. Probably one of the many people who are trying to get me meddled in after I found out I'm on Earth visiting. Who was it? Like, let's see what exactly the question says. Yeah, it's what I can only describe as a squid person with lots of arms and lots of guns. What was it? So yeah, squid. And how did we send it away? We kind of defeated him, so he basically retreated for now, as far as I know.
Okay, and up next is our delinquent. You totally broke some major rules to win this fight. What rules did you break? Whose rules were they?
I'll tell you this much. They sure as hell weren't mine. I don't have any rules. But well, I think there were less rules and more like, and I think we're just splitting some semantic hairs here, but I think that most people call them laws. But that's okay. I mean, laws are made to be broken, right? Like if they weren't there, why would they? I mean, right. Anyway, and I'm pretty sure that that was actually in California, which is why I'm now not in California.
Well, this show, I think the team came together in like a pilot episode, which is why you were all signed on or something of that nature. And but I mean, one of the things I'm thinking of, since there is interspace activity because of Bounty, maybe you broke some kind of laws, like what would be the UN laws, but
and
space.
Well, Bounty hasn't told us what the name of the organization is, but there is an interstellar policing organization which does take a dim view of teleporting half of somebody partway across the universe. So I can't imagine why, but so yeah, they got a little mad about that. But it's not like it was a sentient; it was just like this amorphous blobby thing. But still, they kind of objected because, like, I don't know, maybe it's going to grow on the other side of the teleport. Whatever. I can't be bothered with things like that. I've got to work on getting my sponsorships in order.
And when I can find the tab again, up next is our Legacies team question, which is, all things considered, we did well and impressed an established hero. Who was it?
Ooh. Do we have any established heroes that you want to fold in here, Sawyer?
I have some I've not put up besides Miss Majestic and Mr. Marvelous, who were Miss Majestic is your Professor X stand-in, and Mr. Marvelous was her ex-husband. They ran the late Silver Ages like Justice League in Nashville. But I have some ideas for team members, like one. I have more pictures than concrete ideas yet, but there is like Hellfire, who is a demonic lawyer who basically competes with the other realms for souls and the things like that, and sort of a Batman Daredevil stand-in with Constantine takes.
Oh, that sounds fun. Let's impress him.
Oh, her.
Her. Sorry.
Not that you. I will link a picture of Hellfire for the group to check out.
Cool.
If I can keep these tabs in order again. Yep.
Oh, that picture's lovely. Yeah, I definitely want to impress her.
These questions are really folding in together. Someone from space, broke space laws, impressed a infernal lawyer. So, I mean, you probably got out of some. Dietrich shotgun. Okay, I'm quite interested in how I wrote the legacy team question of impressed Hellfire, who helped wrangle them out of trouble from space crimes. Up next is the transformed team question, which we drew attention and ire from plenty during the fight. One important person in particular now hates and fears us. Who is it?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking just to tie this in. I think an entity called the God Mind. Like they were kind of set up to monitor Earth, just because once other alien civilizations noticed, hey, there are all these super-powered beings coming from this planet. We should probably monitor that, and in case we need to destroy them at some point. That the recent developments with this that they find the recent developments with our media monetization of superpowers rather disturbing.
I like the idea, like with the Earth 4 thing, of that meteor bringing the Metablast down. Like every planet that gets one of these meteors gets a monitor of some kind. We just got one who's, well, self-aware enough to call itself the God Mind. But I mean, is that about what you're thinking, like a monitor stand-in or watcher stand-in?
Yeah.
Okay. And now you guys are on TV. Gosh damn kids. And the final question, which for our protege, the team let me read we stuck together after all was said and done. Why? How'd you keep in contact? Which is kind of a given with this setup, but...
Right. So I think that we kept in contact, of course, through the technology gifts from my mentor. However, the why is really interesting. I think in general, I don't know why everyone else stuck in contact, but it was kind of my job. I think my mentor Stitches wanted to make sure that the up and coming heroes we kept tabs on them, and that we knew where everyone was going to, you know, we got more and more information about the up and coming heroes, the younger generation, so that we could know how to predict who needed to go where or who was going to collapse first. I also envision that my mentor probably has multiple mentees that he's kind of farmed out and is getting reports from all across the globe.
Yeah, and since like the last major Metablast was in '94, I guess probably like a huge amount of new players on the field in '96.
Out of curiosity, are they a silent backer to this recent venture of what's our manager's name?
Our manager's name is Dynasty Pearl.
Right. Are they a silent backer to this? Do they view it as a way of more easily tracking people?
Dynasty does this because she was a superhero. She's now much more like Lex Luthor or Amanda Waller. She uses superheroes.
Oh, no, yeah, I get that. But I was kind of curious if the mentor has some kind of business relationship with her
she's
in
definitely
regards to this.
Oh, with the mentor. She probably would. I could see Stitches having been in the old Silver Age group that collapsed, if you would like that.
Yeah, that sounds good. O has no idea whether or not, Stitches is involved in bankrolling this thing. I haven't been able to hack that deep into his files.
Yeah, that's a good thing to leave up in the air, too, I think. Okay. So let me note that we don't know that's... Okay, and this time we're going to go in Character Keeper order and do our relationships. So, Hedera, you have 2 relationships to hand out or ask about.
Okay. Let me see here. Who knew me before I changed? Do you think perhaps it might be interesting if since Bounty's kind of thing was that they were away from Earth for a while, do you think perhaps that the two of us have a we both knew each other before all these big changes in our lives?
It would have had to have been like a decade ago, but yeah. Sure. Like, I knew you as a kid, and do I have any idea who you are now?
I mean, I don't think my identity isn't particularly secret.
And depending on how did Hedera get her powers? Was it through the Metablast, or maybe was it through the like? It sounds like Bounty's parents were scientists, so
Yeah, maybe yours too.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably through the Metablast. But yeah, I think that makes sense. There are these kinds of nonsensical, implausible, like coincidences that, like, yes, both our parents were scientists at the same lab.
of course these comics were all connected somehow.
Yeah.
Secret evil scientists. That's what they were usually. Yeah.
And your other question, Hedera?
Who comforted me when I was at my lowest?
You know, I'll volunteer for that one just because it seems so wildly out of character. You know, you were kind of down, and I looked around to make sure nobody was watching to see that I might actually have a feel, and tried to talk you through it because I know what it's like to feel weird and alien in a culture that doesn't seem to have much use for you.
Yeah, I also assume, considering I feel like there's a certain delinquentish quality to Hedera. I think probably there was some drug taking involved. Probably. I don't know if that's Tasha's thing.
My ankles are hallucinogenics.
I believe that she sticks solely to stuff that grows from the ground and is smokable, but
That's fair. That's
because it's natural, you see.
yeah. I mean, technically, the chemicals on my hands that will leave a rash on people are also natural, but people don't seem to like those for some reason. Like,
But
it's
again,
not a bad rash. I just imagine that it's just a really shitty, like, non-superpower that just, like, I just have poison ivy hands.
It's like you leave like this feel of mosquito bites for like an hour after you touch someone.
And here I was just thinking that maybe it just means that when you roll a number, it really puts you in outer space.
Anyway, up next are Neutron's relationship questions.
All right. You once got caught doing something that shamed your legacy with blank.
Now, while I could easily see that being Tasha,
Yeah.
I could very easily see that being O. Maybe she was trying to hack into the Void's activities, which is a breach of privacy, which her legacy's not fond of.
Oh, that's really, really good because I have an inkling on the next question. I like that a lot. What do you think, Q?
That sounds good.
All right. Are we also doing influence at the tail end of relationships? I'm sorry.
We'll do influence after relationships.
Okay, I know you gave us a step thing and I didn't write it down, and I'm terrible at remembering instructions. So you trust blank and told them an important secret of your legacy. I definitely don't trust Tasha. Sorry. So it's either Bounty or Hedera. Who wants to be trusted by Kyungwon?
I can tell you that I probably won't care enough to ever share it.
Yeah, and I'm the person that actually doesn't walk around with a mask all the time, so...
Wait, is it supposed to convince me yes or
It's
no?
not all
like at least that you can see my face when you're telling me a secret.
I always have my mask on. Just
Okay,
a lot of the time.
That's true. Should I trust a guy who runs around with a mask on? No, Hedera, I have entrusted you with a secret of my legacy, and I think it is that I think the Void is, and this is the whole reason why I thought it was really neat about the privacy breach, is that Void's a member of our family. I think Void's like maybe a sibling of mine.
Okay.
And this way, if you're ever betrayed, it's organic, non-GMO betrayal. Like way before it's a thing.
Doesn't make it better?
No, but more people accept it.
Sure, but I think it's the 90s, so they think they're just damn hippies.
Okay, up next are I love the Nomads relationship questions. Let's get to them.
Now let's use them in the worst way possible. So Blank knows plenty that I don't know about this world, its people, and how to deal with them. I should follow their lead while I'm here.
Can I volunteer for that one?
No, it's too usual for the delinquents to be the bad influence. I was actually thinking there.
Cool.
No, splendid. I don't know what its people and how to deal with them. Hopefully you actually do. Because, you know,
Just shout angrily at them.
Yeah, that's what I thought you would tell. And the second one is Blank is, well, boring, but that's okay. I'm going to make them more interesting. I mean,
Tasha doesn't even have a superhero name.
Yeah, she doesn't. Although she's a delinquent, she's doing some crazy shit, but is that enough for me?
Is she rebelling interestingly enough?
Exactly. It's like, I've seen that a billion times. I've been the rebel. So, yeah, let's do Tasha. Usually I think that would go the other way around in these questions. The boring one would be someone who's actually boring, and the person who knows more, you are a total progress.
I'm just imagining different base slangs. Like, I've been to the bars on Coruscant. You are. But yeah, Tasha, is that good for you?
Yeah. Are you okay with being boring and me trying to make you interesting?
I'm okay with you thinking I'm boring and trying to make me interesting.
Okay.
But just, understand if I teleport half of you halfway across the universe.
Well, good thing.
I mean, you're interesting. I'm sure you can survive that.
Probably, yes.
And up next, Tasha's relationship questions.
Alrighty, let's see what I've got here. I keep trying to impress Blank with my antics. And I'm thinking it would be interesting if that was either Neutron or O.
Yeah, those are both pretty interesting.
It depends on, are you more jealous of a family or someone with someone who actually cares about them? Deep, subtle burn at Neutron.
Wow. I'd
like to argue against the subtle part of that.
Okay, just deep burn.
Yeah, the scorch marks on that are visible from space. I think it's actually maybe a little bit more in the sense of nobility versus actually caring and trying to do the right thing. If that makes sense, like that's kind of what she's looking at. Like, I want them to notice so that maybe I can learn how to not be such a shit. Does that make sense? So Q, Rich, what do you think?
Like on one hand, I'm interested in that, but I'm looking at, we have Hedera, who's kind of the pretty normal person. Then we have a nomad and a delinquent who are pretty way out there. So I was thinking that Neutron was probably leaning pretty true bluish, but I can angle him different ways if that's more interesting for your backstory or relationship. I mean,
Well, and if you're thinking true blue, like, basically, the last Boy Scout Superman type thing, that's, I think, one of those things that she'd be looking at. Like, I kind of want to do that, but admitting that I want to do that is so uncool.
it is pretty darn uncool. Yeah, that's a true statement.
So trying to figure out how to do that while still feeling like she's cool and apathetic and Gen X and, whatnot. So, it kind of, Q, do you have any thoughts? Because at this point, it's sounding kind of like Rich.
That's fine. I think it would be better to be Neutron because that's more connections with Neutron that we need.
Okay. So there is Neutron there.
And I think that O could probably fit in with your next background question.
The awesome if illegal stunt together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
All right. Done.
And what is this stunt? This is 96. A year after the movie Hackers was released, so it could be something that no one really gets the depths of yet, but...
Maybe I helped teleport you into a secured facility where you could get access to data stores that you really just wanted to poke around in, and then used my psychic weaponry to make sure that everybody forgot about it.
Ooh, that's really good. What about, it's a stunt. What if it's not just, the actual cover was us being punks? So we did something like put up on the New York Times video screen, something super silly, you've been punked, or, something, something.
The video screens in Times Square.
Yeah, basically just kind of graffiti-esque, but then that was really the cover for getting some kind of illicit information that was elsewhere in the building.
I think the idea, maybe you were advertising for the first season of Generation Xtra, and while you were the building you were advertising in just happened to have a shit ton of metadata on metahumans. So quid pro quo.
That's perfect. Yeah, that sounds great.
Awesome.
And our final relationship questions from O.
Right. So the first one is you and Blank teamed up a few times before the rest of you came together. I think that would go best with maybe with Neutron. I think that. So, Rich, do you think that Neutron's family would be involved with the old previous super team that Stitches and our Miss Marvel? Is it Miss Majestic? Our patron?
Yeah, I thought you were waiting for a second.
Marvel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. That would be fantastic. Like maybe Red Giant and Stitches, like they had a team up book for a while, maybe 30, 40 issues.
And we were kind of the sidekicks for them, so we've kind of teamed up as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Let me ask you, which gender do you think Red Giant should be? Did you have any mental images, Korean American or a male or a female Korean American?
I don't have a strong, mental image. Do you think that your family would buck Korean tradition and have a female, strong female hero representing, or is the gender hidden?
Oh, that's a great question. So I think it's female, and I do think that Red Giant still keeps her gender secret. I like that a lot.
Maybe Red Giant did not keep her gender secret, and that's why the legacy moved to America, because it was much more acceptable for a female to be leading in America than Korea.
So Red Giant is the first kind of female Korean hero then. That's
at least the first in your the first open one in your legacy.
Yeah.
There's I think people who are big fans of Neutron are going back in the records. Brown Dwarf never released their information, or the first Red Giant always stood behind common rider costumes. So like there may be more.
Cool. I like that. I dig that. That's really cool. Thanks for bringing that out. That's awesome.
My second question is: your mentor is really cautious. They asked you to keep an eye on blank. And if you don't mind, I think that was Bounty.
Well, I'm not at all a part of a child thief rig gang or whatever, so I don't see why.
Well, you've been off planet for a long
I
time.
think you muted.
Oh yeah. Can you hear me now? Okay. Can everyone else hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear
Okay,
you.
fantastic.
Yep.
And Eris, can you hear us?
Yeah, Eras, can you hear us?
Okay.
There. I wonder what happened.
But can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So yeah.
So I think you've been off planet for a long time, and I think that's where the concern comes from is, can you be trusted? What happened
No
there?
info.
Yeah.
Yeah, you seem to be dealing with a lot with data and you have none. So
Yes, and with that, we get to start handing out influence. And I think I will once again start in reverse character keeper order. So, how much influence do you hand out to the team?
So my influence states choose your demeanor, playful or business. I think the character developed is kind of more business, as in, she's here to get information on everyone, and this is the best way for us to win the competition, make the best show, that kind of stuff. It says under that, if you choose business, give influence to no teammates.
Oh dear, and that's going to be copied by someone else. I wonder who. But next, Tasha, how much influence do you hand out?
Give me a second. I need to go back over to the playbook here. I think I have to give influence to 3 people, but is that right? Do you remember offhand, Ferret?
Who are you playing? What's your playbook
Delinquent.
That's exactly that.
Okay. In that case, so let's do influence for O, for Neutron, and Hedera.
Okay. And Bounty, how much wonderful influence do you give out?
well, because everyone is so boring. None. I don't know these people.
And you have those wonderful putting down roots rules for us to follow too.
Yeah.
The only way to get influence over Bounty is to have him share a weakness with you or an end of session choice. Yay!
Good luck getting any.
And Neutron, hand out your influence.
You care way more than you let on. Wait, no, that's the other one. I had mine queued up and then I moved to help out with the. Here we go. You're part of this team for better or worse, and you care what they think. Give influence to all your teammates. Look under your seats. You get influence. You get influence. You get influence. Sorry, there's got to be some influence happening. You stingy curmudgeon influencers.
And I believe since I played the Transformed, I don't think it has much influence to hand out. But
Yeah, no. I think it's something, I forget the actual phrasing, but it is you try not to care what other people think, even if you can't shut everyone out. I give influence to one person. And I'll give it to Bounty.
Great. This team is shaping up. You feel like reality TV stars. You don't trust anyone.
Look, we just all need to make certain that we maximize each of our screen times. So we can't, be taking time to learn about other people.
What's other people?
Yeah, well, we're coming up to the top of the hour. I'm going to say we should have a 10-minute break. I will write some, we will go over our backstories when we get in, or like the last 5 questions. And I will have some leading questions for everyone, hopefully. So, yeah,
Cool.
let's be back 10 after the hour. So, I've just got done with the loaded questions, which this is the hardest those have been for me in some time, but getting back into the swing of things. And I say hardest, took me 12 minutes to write them, so. But, just to make sure, Tasha, are you here? Just type in chat if you are.
Indeed.
Or speak, that is fine too. And yay, Q is back. So I wrote these leading questions in no particular order, so I'll just call them out in the order I have them written. Everyone shares the final question just because it's a good question in Gauntlet games, and Puckett has generally had to remind me about it. So we will start with Hedera. Were you plus-sized before the Metablast gave you powers?
Yeah, I think I was. I think though that the power, like after the powers and the mutations, I definitely became more vocal about lashing out at people who either were cruel to me or I perceived that way.
Do you feel like a token on the team?
Yeah, I do.
What do you miss the most out of being human? What do you miss the least?
Um, I think probably I'm trying to think of what I miss the most, but probably what I miss the least is the eating. I think I probably have a pretty like self-sufficient metabolism. Like my body just kind of sticks at where it is, thanks to all of the plant growths that are now just a part of my body. So my body as a whole is pretty self-sufficient, and I'm pretty glad not to have to deal with that anymore. Um, but I think probably what I miss the most is um being able to disappear. Like I can't really disappear into a crowd anymore. And I actually realized I never brought up actually when in your earlier about powers and moves. Do you want me to bring those up now?
Yes, that'd be fine.
Yeah, and I'd forgotten to mention that my powers are a plant affinity and transmuting flesh. I kind of imagine that her flesh will kind of burst and transform into sort of plant matter like vines and whatnot. Um, and my moves are coming for you. I am not my body, and be the monster. I am very good at taking blows and going aggro at those that hurt me.
Yes, and the final question, which is not very character related, but are you, the player, and his Hedera, okay with romantic relationships with NPCs?
Yeah.
And with PCs?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's mark down yes for both. Next, the leading questions for O. Have you ever run into another mentee? If so, how did that meeting go?
I think I have, and we both agreed to keep it secret so that no one else knew about it. And then we both probably started our investigation of each other.
Is this a euphemism for dating? Because it sounds like a euphemism for dating.
No.
How did your mentor pick you out of everyone, if you know?
Yeah, so actually I won a video game competition, a big national video game competition. However, I did this by hacking, and no one else knows, but my mentor knows that I slowed down the other machines very subtly. And they came in and, recruited me by saying, they knew what I'd done. They were able to handle, they were able to describe it. So they're better at hacking than I am, or at least they were able to find out what was going on.
Yeah, I like the idea. Like, you're getting your prize money and everything. Then someone like walks by, like, it's amazing that the whatever like terms hit every machine but yours.
Yeah.
And what most worries you about your mentor?
Probably his secrecy. So, he has kept secrets. He does seem a little bit paranoid about secrets, about making sure that he knows everything. And I know that's not possible. I know it's not possible to keep track of everything, and I know when to stop. It's something that I've learned, and it seems like he hasn't.
And the final one, are you okay with? Are you okay and or interested in relationships between NPCs and PCs romantically?
I don't think so. I don't think I'm interested in that.
Okay. Okay, Bounty. Who raised you out in space? And do you miss them? What do you miss about them?
It wasn't a single being. I don't know how to call it, person, being. Me and the friends that got portaled away, we kind of went from place to place. We didn't really have a family or a place to set down. I had a few like mentors that taught us what we eventually came to do most of the time. I don't think I miss those people. They were nice. They probably put a bounty on me.
Do you miss their? What do you miss about them? Which could be that their alibis.
They were very efficient. That's something I might miss. Like I wanted a good job done well, and it hasn't been that good since we left those bad people, bad things, whatever they were.
What would you say Earth's reputation is out in the stars?
None. Nobody cares. Except for the Watcher that hates us. What was his name? God something.
Godmind.
Godmind. He's the only one who cares.
Have your parents tried to get back in touch with you now that you're on Earth?
So when I came back, I was looking for them, tell them, "Hey, I'm alive." I never found them though, so I don't know if they tried or not. I just don't know what happened. I got portaled away 10 years ago, and that's it.
And the final question: romantic interest with this character? Yay, nay?
I don't mind. Like whatever comes, comes.
Okay. Okay, and Neutron. Who in your family has no powers, and how do they feel about those that do?
I think Kenwan's youngest sister has no powers, and she pretends that she is totally cool with it and doesn't want to have to deal with any of the stuff. But I think she secretly craves the idea of being able to be a member of this legacy and feels left out.
Okay. Where in Nashville is your family always welcome and their money no good?
Money no good mean like, oh, don't pay for that kind of thing?
Like you and yours don't pay. Like, like where's your cheers?
Right. So I have only been to Nashville once.
This is Earth 4, so it's not even our universe. Feel free to make something up.
I think that it would be interesting if there is like a sports stadium of some kind, and the owner of that professional team was saved by Red Giant, and so he's like, yeah, no, you guys are good. You're good, and all the food you want, and please stay in the VIP suite, and et cetera, et cetera. That could be fun.
So basically, you guys get the best box seat, all the free food, and like whatever you guys would want.
Yeah.
And how did you learn Void was from your family?
I think I've always known. I think it's like my sibling, so I just know it's a secret we don't talk about. We don't want anyone to know. Void hasn't told anyone. I don't know if it's some kind of agreement or what, but yeah. I think maybe I told Red Giant that I figured it out, and Red Giant was like, yeah, I totally know that. It's my own kid, dummy. Don't tell anyone.
And I think I know the answer to the final one.
Yes, all the romance. Woo!
I'll write that verbatim. All the romance. Okay, and Tasha, last but not least, when did you first learn you can teleport? What are the usual limits?
Usual limits. Well, I first learned kind of by accident because, and help me with the time frame here. How many of these Metablasts have there been?
Generally, they're not all counted. They're generally the major ones are spontaneously combusted by major events like the World Wars, starting Metablasts around the world. But if someone like really beloved in a small town died, like maybe a small Metablast would engulf that town. And of course, not everyone's affected by them. Not everyone's affected by them the same way. But 94 was the largest one on recorded history due to ever since the moon landing, because television has sort of made the world more connected.
Okay, because what I was thinking is that she got her powers by going to her dad, going to work with her dad on a take your daughter to work day at an experimental physics lab doing wormhole research. and he did not survive the accident that gave her her powers. So, with that in mind, so the question was, what are the usual limitations, and what was the other part of it?
When did you learn how to do it? And it sounds like you learned how to do it at the last major Metablast.
I think she learned that she could do it, but it has taken her time to learn how to use it effectively and with finesse. And there's basically a pocket dimension out there with a whole bunch of stuff in it that she's not almost like Felix the Cat's bag of tricks, where she just kind of teleported stuff and was practicing, and there's a bunch of stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
So the practical limitations of it, right now, it needs to be either someplace that she has a picture of or has been to. You know, she can't do blind teleportation. However, if people don't mind the risk, then she can, but it's quite a risk.
Yeah, and so you teleport through your pocket dimension, I assume.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, let's just say that. I mean, it's kind of junky in there because, well, she shoplifted a lot of stuff and just teleported it in there so she didn't get busted. So, you know, there's like the equivalent of a Saks Fifth Avenue in a liquor store and probably a Toys R Us there.
This gives me Exalted vibes. I like it. Why did you?
That's the actual reason it went out of business.
Yeah, pretty much.
Why did you never adopt a super persona?
I mean, why? Hey, I'm awesome. Why would I want to hide that?
Okay. Who would you do anything you had to protect?
Kind of doesn't matter, but my dad.
And is he dead or is he just disappeared?
Well, that's a really good question. Let's chalk that up under missing, presumed dead, because most people don't sort of like wink out of existence like they're being sucked into a black hole and survive it.
Okay. And the final question.
Yes.
Yep.
Rich was already hitting on me, so a little late there.
Okay. And with that, we can do the backstories that every playbook comes with. We will go in character keeper order. So, Hedera, have you checked your questions out, filled out any, or shall we go one by one?
Yeah, I've gone. I just haven't written them out there.
Okay.
Let me just reopen. So you just want me to go for those backstory questions?
Yes, the 5 that every playbook has. Only the last one similar, but I think I have the transformed up right now. Like the who were you before starting?
I think before the change, I was someone who is very good at hiding myself away defensively, and at kind of trying to stick out of the lot out of like most people's like attention. I think I changed probably given that Bounty left about 10 years ago. I think I probably changed a few years ago. I think that I'm wondering if actually. So what was the science thing our parents worked on?
Well, my parents were part of the alien stuff, basically, like alien things on Earth. That was what I was thinking of, and they were dealing with portals at the time, and poof, 4 kids were gone.
Yeah, I think probably actually maybe I changed in that same event. Like I think probably you left and some other stuff came back, and I think that without this meta-human gene, it should have killed me, but instead my body is kind of acclimated to having just this parasitic alien plant living in me.
Yeah, it could have been like there was a small metablast from the parents losing their children to the.
Yeah,
And,
that's what I was thinking.
And some spores came through.
Yeah.
You combined.
Yeah.
So I'm not the only one who got lost.
Yeah, I think it's actually awkward because I think I probably have, outside of the team, I think I actually probably have a better relationship with your parents than you do. Because I think I've kept in contact with them in like just dealing with the alien parasites and all that. And there are like regular check-ins and checkups about that.
So you might know where they are.
Oh.
I mean,
right,
evil
they went
scientists
missing.
probably hide. I don't know. I didn't find them. I didn't say they're missing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I have an email chain with them that that I just go like, oh well, obviously he's contacted his parents. He's back after all.
You'd never know.
I think if they are in hiding, they perhaps are in hiding. And I'm the only one that's had contact with them in the intervening years.
So when was your last contact with them?
I think probably a few months. I think, how long have you been back?
About half a year, maybe
I think
less.
probably my last contact was about half a year ago. But they went off the grid about the same time as you came back.
Right on time.
And I'm not just going to try to hide myself away because fuck all the haters. And why do you care about the team? Because obviously, I mean, I think that Miss Marvelous was
Miss Marvelous.
Yeah, Miss Marvelous kind of sold me on the team as a way of setting up a kind of brand for myself, and I think I'm into that.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, the show instead, but yeah, that's.
Yeah, you can't. Team, show, same thing with this group. So next, a Neutron. I see you've written yours out.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. Do you want to read yours out?
Sure. When did you officially become a part of your legacy? Neutron's the son of Red Giant, so he obviously was the next step in the legacy of the stars. It's just always been that way. It's not about choice. It's just born into it. What's the greatest accomplishment of your legacy? Like you can tell me to say otherwise if you want. But the Bjol, which is the name of the family, we once saved the sun. Literally. It was dimming and we repowered it. It was pretty awesome, right? How does the public perceive your legacy? Conservative, dependable, a little aloof, mostly boring. Also, they're foreign because they're Koreans and Korean American. How does your legacy tie into your reasons for being a hero? I think that it's just like this is what he was born to do. So it's never been a choice for him.
You don't disappoint the family. The family is
you don't disappoint the family, exactly. And why do you care about the team? They're heroes too, and they're also not my family, so I could do things to fulfill what my legacy wants, but actually interact with people who are my own age. Because I don't think he exactly. I think he was homeschooled, or maybe he's schooled by a robot.
It's still homeschooling if the robot's at home.
Okay, so homeschooled. I don't think he's done a whole lot of dealing with actual legitimate day-to-day people very much.
So I guess actually a question I have then is how does like why the reality television thing in particular then?
Oh,
I'm just curious.
yeah,
if
no,
you
it's
don't
a
have an
great
answer.
question. I think the first thing is O's in there, and O and I've worked together, and maybe O mentioned it, and then I saw on like Twitter or Insta that Tasha was going to do it, and she's interesting. So there you go.
Well, it's 96. There is no Twitter or Insta, but
Right. Sorry. AOL? I don't know. Like
CompuServe, Usenet, ICQ,
Prodigy.
AOL Messenger, Usenet.
Okay. No, I don't. Okay, so fine. It's worked with O would probably be the best one.
well, it's also like maybe it's your. It could be like your one rebellion that your parents told you to join a team. They didn't tell you which team to join.
You're not wrong.
Okay. Yeah, you said why the team's important. Bounty, your backstory.
Yes. So, who took you from Earth? But no one took me, unless you consider sending me away in a portal accidentally as taking me. So my parents were secret scientists dealing with weird alien technology, and they opened some sort of portal when a bunch of us kids were playing about a decade ago. Yeah, I wasn't that bad of a kid. And we were gone. What farscapes did you explore? So basically out and very, very far in space, as far as you can imagine, probably in the galaxy, maybe others even, and maybe in time, because, space-time and all that, I wouldn't even know. Who was your favorite traveling companion? So it wasn't just me that was gone with the portals. We were 4, now we are 3. So my favorite used to be a girl named Alia, but that was before she found out she has powers, and joined another group of powerful people who are not nice. And all that's left is just us 3 now. And I have their names. It's me, Bounty, Dupy, and Lila. What brought you back to stay? So I have a life in space, out there in space, that I've been living for the past decade. I won't go into details. And I had a job not too far from Earth, maybe like, I don't know, 3,000 light years away or something. And I decided to, I'm so close for the first time in ever. And I'll come visit and look for my parents. And yeah, and have been around here for half a year of life. You wouldn't. Yeah. And why do I care about the team? I don't know about the team, but why am I on the reality TV show? So there's probably several reasons. 1, it looks cool. 2, they won't admit it, but everyone watches reality TV, including probably my parents. So if they're not dead, they are probably watching me, and they might contact me. And yeah, like this also looks for an extra job for me, like something to do on Earth while I'm here, looking.
And like creds don't translate into Earth dollars.
No, I'm starting from scratch. Yeah.
Okay, Tasha, your backstory.
All right. How did you get your powers? My dad, Rigoberto Bert Sanchez, took me to work at his experimental physics lab. The Metablast caused an accident that gave me powers and made him disappear. What do you do for fun? I pester Snoop for the good Dro. Teleportation freaks him out and it's funny. Who outside of the team thinks better of you than you do? My dad's lab partner, Oscar Sanderson. Why do you try to be a hero? Because kids like I was need someone to stick up for them. And why do you care about the team? They're the only people who haven't told me to go away and not come back. yet.
And finally, your background story.
So my backstory questions are: how did I first meet my mentor? We've covered some of this already. He contacted me after I won a video game competition by illicitly hacking the opponent's systems. When and why did I choose to train with them? They had so many nice toys. He was also able to counter my hacks, and soon I'll learn to be better than him. Um, why did they agree to train me? He won't live forever and wants to leave behind someone to protect the world in his place. Um, who else outside of the team knows about my training? Everyone knows about Stitches, and that he's somewhat connected to me, but no one knows to the extent that he's training me. That's kind of kept down low, and I take credit for any of the help that he would provide. And finally, the last question is why do you care about the team? I think that the team and the show is kind of an assignment given to me, but after we've been together for a little while, and the team ups, there's something about the team ups that I've done with Neutron in the past that tugs at me, and I'm not sure exactly what that is yet. Um, I think that there's a sense of belonging that I don't get anywhere else that I'm just discovering and starting to recognize.
I like that. Okay. With everything set up, our loaded questions answered, and our stars introduced, I think we can take another 10-minute break, and I will hard frame us into a scene for some role playing for the last third of this event. So, see you guys at 52 after the hour. This is the team I've seen with the least influence on each other ever.
Yeah, I have to admit, I was super surprised. I'm looking through my, playbook. I hadn't looked at that until just before you asked, and I'm like, let's look at that. Oh, am I playful? I don't think I'm very playful. Oh, no influence anywhere. Huh, that sucks. So, yeah.
Yeah, and the Nomad has that influence system for them, which I think let me check it because I have it up. Just because I have to, even adults don't have influence over bounty.
Yeah.
And if you would gain influence, you get to mark potential or put a condition on bounty. So, I mean, you can still try to. Yeah, I think everyone is back now.
Can I just insert a thing that I didn't realize I contradicted something? You asked about void, and I said I'd always known. I think I didn't. I think that when I did something that shamed my legacy with O, that's when I found out.
Ooh.
But
That
you
way it
always
gives
knew
that-
in your heart.
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
always.
I totally had that moment of looking back and yeah, that and that and that and that. Yeah, it totally makes sense. But I think that should be the trigger point for when Neutron found out about Void's the truth of Void.
Understood. So yeah, with us all here, I think we start off with it's been about a month since your pilot episode when the team came together, and it's just now getting to be the first the show itself is going to start going live this month. You're at this big convention style event in Nashville. They've gotten lots of different types of celebrities, your normal country music stars, your like the MTV happy list. Like I think the there's Oasis, there's Courtney Love, there's some bands which are legally distinct but obviously stand-ins for bands in our real world. And you guys are the only ones at this event who matter in any form or fashion without bodyguards. Because this is a super event, most people are prepared for supervillain hijinks. But I think Dynasty Pearl is since you guys are new, you don't have separate dressing rooms. You have this entire backstage dressing room, and Dynasty Pearl, despite her size, moves very quietly, even in high heels. And you don't hear any. You would think with her size, you would hear her trumping down the hallway towards you, and especially in those heels. But all of a sudden, there's just the door unlocks with a key. She squeezes her way in, and she looks around at everyone. And I'm going to pause it to Hedera first. How were you getting ready for your first major appearance publicly?
I think that I'm trying on an outfit. I think probably since I am kind of joining this team is a little bit monetary for me. I think I probably am trying to put together a line of Hedera branded shirts and pants, and so I do kind of have this stretch top that sort of clings to my curves and has kind of Hedera across the front.
And Bounty, are you wearing your full armor set for this meeting?
Of course.
And I guess same question to Neutron. Are you fully decked out in your Legacy's finest?
Absolutely.
And are you trying to mimic Stitch's armor, or
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't have power armor myself. I'm basically dressed up in what equivalently is military tack suit that's been, painted and and made to look kind of flashy, and where I can't move quickly. It's been, kind of cut off to the side and tailored. And in general, I have all sorts of gadgets and little things attached to the sleeves, to the arms, to the legs, things like that.
And Tasha, what are you going to be wearing to your first event?
What? This isn't good enough?
Are you just like thrift storing it up? Are you wearing any like designer clothes? Like, are you trying?
No. I'm playing Dreamcast. Ready to rumble. Lulu Valentine's the boss. I mean, whatever I found at the surplus store yesterday.
Yeah, so I think Dynasty Pearl is taking in each and every one of you, and trying to feel the weight of her gaze as she falls on each one of you, judging you for what you're wearing, what you're looking like, and I think it like finally comes down to Tasha, who looks like she went to Goodwill yesterday and lucked out and got a Dreamcast. And Dynasty walks over to her and starts tapping her foot and making noise. Like, do you think this is appropriate for your first major event?
Yeah.
Do you have no inclination towards fashion designers, name brands, or anything of that nature?
Is Joe's Surplus a name brand?
I can try get you a spacesuit if you want.
And I think Dynasty looks up, like she has a slight scowl on her face. Like, no, your suit is your trademark right now. We don't need to get branding mismanaged. And she looks down at Tasha again. It's like, there's nothing wrong with this. And she pulls out a notepad and she scribbles down what she's learned about Tasha's fashion sense. Like, it could definitely be marketable. Not everyone who's going to watch this show will have the disposable income. So if we can get some deals with Goodwill, get some deals with Dirt Cheap, this will be very interesting. And then she turns to Neutron. I was like, it seems your grandfather, and do correct me if I am wrong, but Pulsar is your grandfather?
Pulsar is the judgmental. Yes.
And she, I was like, Pulsar is visiting today and making a show with your mother.
Really? That's
Yes.
fantastic.
My Korean is only conversational at best, but he does not sound very approving of what's going on. Is this common?
Yes, absolutely common. Like, yes. Don't worry. We're fine.
And she nods, like, you have a lot to be living up to, and it is quite admirable that you have put yourself on the line for my team. I greatly thank you. And I think she's actually trying to use her influence over you.
Oh.
She wants to boost your superior up and your mundane down.
I'll take it. I'm not gonna fight that. So I'll go ahead and adjust those two labels.
Yeah. And she walks over to Hedera and gives this big, warm grin that only women of your size can share between each other. You're looking marvelous. I have the first shipment in, waiting back at our location. You can go through it by yourself, or I can have people to do that for you to test for quality.
Yeah, I just kind of continue to look at myself in the mirror because I know I look good. I don't need her to point that. And I just kind of say, no, I think I just want to make certain that I just want to give it a once over to make certain everything's on brand for me.
Of course, and you don't want to sell an inferior product, especially with putting so much on branding like you are. It's quite admirable, once again. And she uses like the same, I think this is sort of the point when she says the admirable in the same way she had to Neutron's legacy, being in this, like, she's attributing marketing with the same admiration as your legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And she, like, what is does Hedera's hair change with the seasons?
Sure. What season is it now?
It is going to be same, like, it's the fall season, like it probably is late October right now.
Cool. Yeah, I think that probably my hair has kind of gone an appropriately autumny hue then.
Yeah, and I think she'll place down this pumpkin decoration. Just like we have a marketing bargain with Kroger. They will be selling pumpkins that have this same model if you would not be minding wearing them.
I kind of arc my eyebrow. I actually don't have all that much in common with pumpkins.
Well, no one knows that yet. We can have that on one of the BBC boards that are popping up online these days. Maybe some frequently asked questions on the website.
I kind of shoot her a look, and what exactly am I getting out of like, so what wait, so just to be clear, like, what is it she's asking me? I didn't quite get it.
She wants you to wear the pumpkin in your hair since your hair looks autumny.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of give her a smile and say, you can be sure of it.
And she nods and just remember, when they pay for marketing, they should get at least something of what they want. Put it in your style if you'd like. And she clip-clops away towards O, and I think she has this comically tiny handbag that she reaches in and pulls out this like, it's this old like those old press cards where they would have the different punch outs pulled out that you would insert into like one of the really old computers. And I think this is like how Stitches communicates with people that he trusts, but does not trust other, like, the messages for other people to not like the people who deliver them he doesn't trust, but the people he's giving them to he does. And she hands this over to O, making sure her girth makes so the rest of the teammates can't see her handing this over. And it's like, gives a nod towards like what that's about, and smiles. Like, the additions to the, let's not call it a hideout. We're not hiding, but our townhome have been amazing. Thank you so much for being the first to join the team, O. It has really boosted and bolstered our ranks.
And I think we'll see a good future come out of this. I think we will mutually benefit.
Not a problem at all. And mutual beneficence is perfect. Now, I see you're not wearing any... glamorous items. Is there any kind of marketing I should be looking towards for you? Like maybe, oh, there's this weird company that had a bad run of luck with certain models, but have you heard of Apple before?
Oh, certainly, yeah.
They're looking for a representative for their models, and since you and others work with those computers much more than I do, I thought it could be a good representation. I mean, you might have to do some commercial spots, but
I can make some calls and see what we can line up.
okay. Now, everyone, the pilot that you guys were in did wonderfully. And Bounty, it seems that the person was a cephalodian, which seems to be some kind of space squid, octopus, cuttlefish. He had lots of tentacles. It was weird. And I've been around for a while. But it seems that we've tracked him down enough that he is outside of international space law. So we can't prosecute him at the moment, but should he come back into our ranks, I'll let you know for ratings.
Sure. Ratings. I hope he doesn't.
Oh, and no word on your parents yet. And she says it like it's complete, if your enemy comes back, be on camera. Parents, whatever.
Oh.
So, everyone, you have made some fans with the pilot episode. It was beautiful. So, get out there, shake some hands, sign some autographs, sell some merch. And do look out. I mean, there's a lot of famous people here. I think some people might try to get on camera. And it's not, she doesn't say it like it's a threat, but just whenever superheroes tend to gather, things seem to happen. So I think you will all be released into the main stage. We will start off with, I think, Neutron and O, who are the most respectable members of the group at the moment. Who and since they've worked together before off the team, there's this huge stage in one of these I think most of us have been to gaming conventions. If you imagine like the hotels and the just large halls where these things take place. But there's this large hall with a big stage. There's just several people lining the crowd, and the paparazzi are up close with their cameras ready. There are heroes and celebrities and celebrity heroes from all different ranks and ages, past and present, available for their own meet and greets and to see the brand new team. And I think there's this very bubbly, charming Southern man on stage. Like, now, for those of you who have followed the adventures of Stitches and Red Giant, the team up known as the Sidereal Eclipse, we have their wonderful and amazing and talented and grace. And he just keeps going on, like listing adjectives like H.P. Lovecraft, but with more flair, until he gets like, sidekicks is no longer accurate anymore because they are on a team all by themselves. Let's hear it for Neutron and and he backs off. There's applause in the crowd. And Neutron, when you walk out, you can easily pick out your grandfather and mother's costumes in the crowd. Your sister is sitting beside. I think your sister is one of the few people that you can't see, but you know she's there. She's just sitting. And but your grandfather is not standing. You're able to see him because I think he's just in his. I imagine him as like a tall, with your suite, like the Superman-esque kind of build.
Absolutely. That sounds great.
Yeah, he's not standing, but he is clapping slowly.
Mixed feelings about that, but okay.
But it's like he's at least half-heartedly performing, and your mother looks proud. Look, your mother probably, to me, it feels like she would really approve of this because like it's an American chance you wouldn't get in Korea.
Right.
And Stitches is nowhere to be seen, which is pretty standard for him. If he's here, you probably will notice him through like the way the cameras are panning around the room.
Right, and it's very likely that if you were to see him, it might be a stunt double or something, and he's somewhere else, in fact.
Yeah, I think the mentee that you have met is there, not as themselves, but hidden from normal people as one of the paparazzi.
I named him, by the way, in the character keeper. His name is Torque, and he uses power armor.
Ooh.
He has like an exoskeleton kind of thing. It's kind of primitive. But I've been keeping tabs on him since we first met.
Yeah. So I think this is how you know. Like, you didn't meet him with his mask off before, his armor off before, but you've done enough good digging. You know what he looks like.
I have some of his aliases, and this paparazzi photographer is one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cameras go off. There's rapturous, uproarious applause from most people.
Oh, and so my entrance basically, rides down on a zip line.
Ooh.
To the stage, so it makes a very dramatic entrance as you see this person kind of fastly zipping down and then landing on the stage, and making a bow and everything to make a scene.
And Neutron, how do you enter?
I mean, he can fly, so I think maybe he just does like a flyover and then come down to the stage near the effusive Southern gentleman and thank him and wave.
Yeah. And I think the Southern gentleman is about to hand the microphone over to Neutron, and then it quickly does a feint. And ladies first. Now, the wonderful and amazing very few have heard of you, gentlemen. And there's some ladies who laugh, and then he waits for the subtle laughter to fade, and he turns back and says, "So you were the first one picked up for this team. What was it like to be considered for the first reality TV star team in the world's history?"
I was very honored, and I was mainly by the caliber of heroes that were being recruited. And I can see a great future in this team's escapades. And I think you'll see in the program going forward that there's some quite big challenges that are left to overcome.
Yeah, you were one of the few who were actively headhunted. Do you think that not having to actually apply for the team is in your favor or out of your favor?
Well, I think like the rest of the team, we can all say that we've been auditioning for this show for our entire lives.
That's very apt and very good. Now, there has been some rumors that a hero known as Stitches has been subtly monetizing your group. Can you confirm or deny these rumors?
So as you know, whenever we join the show, we sign an NDA that we cannot discuss the financials of the program, along with the what's going to happen in future episodes. So I can discuss all you would like about the premiere. However, I can't discuss anything about the inner workings of the program.
Future episodes? Are you saying that the show is scripted? I thought it was reality.
Oh, it is reality. But we have certain plans that we know about what's going to happen, as far as we have warnings that have come up, and we know what kind of strengths we have as a team.
I think the mic immediately shifts to neutron. So your companion here says that you have secret information on the inner workings of villains. Are you just going to use this for fame and fortune? Or are you actually going to be stopping villains like your heroic legacy?
I will be helping to stop villains and keep Nashville safe. That's the only reason that we would form up this team. The show around it is to help people come inspired on how everyone can be their own hero.
Now, saving Nashville, does that mean there's not going to be any outside shows? You guys are just staying in Tennessee? It doesn't seem like there'd be all that much villain activity in just one city.
Well, that's true. While Nashville is my number one priority because I live here. Pauses for laughter, hoping that he gets some. But with team members like Bounty, I don't see how we could help but fight villainy wherever we might find it, and whenever.
And I think there's many more like softball questions, like who are you wearing? What's your favorite sport? What's your favorite place to eat in Nashville for some like free marketing? But you guys get your interviews done pretty well. Like you've done a good show, and you get to mingle in the audience for a bit. And I think like while this is happening, we're going to cut to the other three who were at the autograph meet the fans table for the first part. And so Bounty, Hedera, and Tasha, you have been funneled out into one of the smaller rooms, and inside there is this large, like, 2 tables which have your different photos of you guys. There's the premium ones you can sell. There's the average one you just hand out to fans. I think Bounty, do you have one which is unmasked, or are they all of you in your gear?
Maybe like I have one that's edited to have half the mask, half the face.
Okay.
But never without.
And I think like Dynasty Pearl is making sure that you're signing a few just ahead of time because your hands are going to get cramped. But I think she lets the first fans in, like, and it becomes pretty overwhelming really quickly. People are pushing their way through. The fans are coming in to get things signed and trying to push past them. Some of them have more money than common sense and are getting, like, I want 50 of these headshots autographed, please. And but I think well, you guys are in a group full of massive bodies just sort of swarming you. Does anyone want to assess the situation?
I might as well. Unless you want to.
Same. I would.
Okay.
Always.
And I will link the roll for your party. It is in the... Oh, most people are already here. At least the 2 who want to roll. But I will link it anyway.
Mm-hmm. So, should we both roll?
How about Bounty? You roll first, and we'll see if you miss, we may want to roll again.
So assess, right? Assess is I
Plus
forgot.
superior.
Yeah, and I have the sharpened dice. When you assess the situation, you may always ask one of the following questions, but let's roll first. 7 plus, what did we say? Superior, right? Yeah, that's
Yes.
9.
Okay, you get to ask 2, one from your power and one, or your move, and one from the list.
Mm-hmm. Let me just look at the list. Need to open it. Basic moves. Assess the situation. How could we best end this quickly? This whole situation.
I think the best way to end this quickly would be to find just a
You're muted.
yeah. Sorry, muted myself for a sec. To find a way that you needed to get like another part of the place, make a scene, or hope that something, or hope for fate to intervene. But I think the easiest way to end it quickly is to say you are busy elsewhere, or to convince someone there's a marketing opportunity elsewhere.
So basically, step on our show's feet.
Advertise, and the one who sharpens senses.
What here would be handy to grab? Why not?
I think there is a satchel that has been left that no one saw be put down, but that your eyes are drawn to, and you feel a strange energy coming from it.
But I'm not good at sales, but I'm good at taking things.
So yeah, and I think are you going to try and get the bag yourself, or maybe provoke someone to do it for you?
No, I'll get it myself. I'll slowly move through the crowd and shake hands and whatever we're supposed to do, and towards the bag satchel.
Yeah, and I think as you start going throughout the crowd, Dynasty Pearl sees how many pictures are left. There's probably not enough to make enough merch sales, so she gets the others, Hedera and Tasha, to go into the crowd as well if they feel like it. And I think Hedera, your clothing line has not come out yet. Just you have some, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are not going to see anyone wearing your attire yet, but I think you definitely see some fans who share your body image type.
Yeah.
But what would Hedera say to Dynasty when she was told to go out and shake some hands?
I probably like snap on a pair of latex gloves that I have just in my bag for this sort of situation. And kind of as I move my way into the crowd, there's kind of no touching, no touching. You're going to want to rinse that out. Rinse that off. Some aloe will probably help with that later on. Yeah, that's probably my reaction.
And Tasha, do you take well to being told what to do?
Oh my God, are you Joey Lauren Adams? I loved you in SFW. You were amazing.
Oh, gosh, the fans. Yeah, I think Bounty, you can just grab that satchel, and what do you do once you have it?
Check inside.
Inside is what appears to be some kind of... It looks like a normal piece of jewelry, but it's radiating some strange energy. Like it looks like a boring tourist necklace of a cowboy hat, but it has some kind there's nothing else in a satchel. Why would someone just put a necklace like this in a satchel and leave it?
Have I ever seen this thing before?
You have not. You've seen the cowboy hat before, but this is like a tourist necklace. Like this would have cost someone at max $5 at a tourist trap.
But you say it has some sort of weird energy coming out of it?
It is definitely energy that probably because you're from space, like you would, or you've been to space, you would have recognized this as being the energy of magic, or what people call the non-quantifiable sciences.
Well, I'm like put my hand on top of the satchel to try maybe take it out, and I'm like thinking, should I not, should I? Is there lots of people around me right now?
I think there are several who are. I think people are interested in seeing Tasha and a few of the more famous fans, and Hedera is getting, I think, some bad rep from people like it's like, yeah, I touched your shoulder. Why is my palm hurting?
So it's pretty quiet around myself.
Yes.
I mean, somewhat. I'm also probably the less known stuff.
I was also probably planning on muscling over to you, because why exactly are you just off playing with whatever swag you picked up from some other team?
You see a satchel in my hand, and I'm like putting my head on top of it and like thinking, and then I put my hand in and take it out.
Okay. It feels like it's buzzing, and Hedera is over. I think several other people are coming over here, and like they, I think you even hear like someone's like, there's some background chatter, but someone's like, if he wants a necklace, can he get something more pricey? I mean, are they poor? Have they not been paid yet?
So this is a necklace, basically.
Yes.
I put it on.
Oh, I was hoping you'd do that.
Come
Well,
on.
you have no conditions, but please roll to take a powerful blow.
Well, great. How do you do? That's a great start. And I'm probably gonna get 6-6. And I got 6-6.
Oh, so what do you choose since you got a 10 plus?
It's a great start. Take a powerful blow, 6-6. But what is happening to me? Or should I choose first?
Choose first, I'd say.
Okay, cause I don't know what like to provoke people to do, so I can't really choose that. So I'll struggle past the pain and mark two conditions. How did I? And I'll give ground to the opposition gets an opportunity, whatever that means.
Oh, I'm glad
I'll
you
mark. What should I mark there? I have no idea. Angry.
say angry and insecure. I mean, this necklace just shocked you with magic.
Sure. Yeah, insecure sounds good.
Yeah, so I think there is this like people start exiting the room after the necklace was put on, and it seems to be like that's when you start realizing that there is like the alarm system in this part of the building starts going off, and you see Dynasty Pearl on her Nokia brick phone because it's 96, but she's getting a text, and she points to she points to all of you. It's like, we've got to get to the front of the convention center now. And she turns to one of the aliens. You film everything. And I think we'll cut back to our legacy and protege, as you guys were in the audience signing a few things from like the few fans who made it to this part of the introduction, shaking hands, meeting heroes and celebrities, doing your part of this meet and greet before you sign your stuff and get to be boring. Get to be in the boring part of the meeting. But I think from the that's when the alarms are going off suddenly, and Neutron, I think your grandfather is still sitting. You got to your family, and would you stay with Neutron as he was going towards his family?
No, I think we actually separated so that we could cover more fans
Mm-hmm.
and get more signatures in different directions.
Yeah, but Pulsar is still sitting down. But once the alarms go off, I think like his mask, he has a. Well, does he wear a mask?
Oh yeah, yeah, I think so.
I think he has like just enough facial elasticity to like let you know he's raising an eyebrow and judging you as the alarm goes off, and he says in a perfect Korean, it's like, of course, a meeting of the minds leads to a meeting of enemies. You couldn't have made this not public, could you?
The public needs to see. The public needs to be inspired. I will make us proud.
Just do not make a fool of yourself in your first battle. You did well in the pilot episode. That is what they're called. I think there is like Korean pilot episode. And you can see he hates having to use English neologisms, but it's like the closest to praise you've gotten in a month.
Yes. Cool. I'm gonna go try to find out what this thing is that I need to face because I am emboldened.
Yes, and what were you doing before the alarm went off?
So I think I was going through the crowd. I think I have a unique automatic writing glove that I put on. So whenever I get signatures, I just they automatically sign things and it looks all fancy and high tech. And when the alarm goes off, I think I immediately whip on my glasses, my goggles, to check in to see what's going on.
So yeah, you have roll me freak to extend your senses.
Yeah. I rolled a 7 and my freak is 0, so I got a 7.
Okay. Do you want to take a condition or is this temporary?
Um,
I think let me check to make sure I'm doing this correctly. Yeah, on a 7 to 9, you can mark a condition to do it perfectly, or I will say how the effect is unstable or temporary.
Okay. I think in that case, I'll take the condition insecure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think immediately this attaches to every camera in the entire convention center, even the ones outside. And outside, you see this beautiful black woman, and she is standing at the top of this symbol that you've done enough research you realize is a pentagram. And at every other mark of the star is another member of her group. They're a pretty diverse crowd, but they all seem to have this same kind of weird aura going around them. And I think because this is superheroics, you also have tapped into sound somehow. And you see the woman, the beautiful black woman at the head of the pentagram. This is when I think the necklace has done the powerful blow, and she opens her hand, and there's another necklace of the same make in her hand, and she just says, "Got them. Let's move in."
So I think I click on my walkie-talkie communicators with everyone else in the team. And there are 6 total, or there are 5 total?
5 total.
5 total, one at each corner of the pentagram. And I say, okay, we've got 5 people coming in. They look like this. One of them is holding a necklace and seems to be the person in charge. Keep eyes on her and coordinate. So do we have a leader?
Are you asking that in character?
No.
Oh.
I think that we would have discussed before who's in charge.
I
can make it up.
I know. I think that this is now we're going into battle, so now we get to determine who is the leader. And to me, it seems that O is the one leading the charge at the moment.
Oh, I'm the eyes and ears. I'm fine being the technical leader, but narratively, I think Neutron's the leader.
Ooh.
I think Neutron might be the tip of the spear, but
Okay.
It seems like you're the hands that are that are pointing it. So
perfect. So I'll do that. So I start coordinating everyone and telling them, okay, our best mode of attack is probably for Neutron to hit them hard from above, for Tasha to teleport in. I would pick an appropriate time, Tasha, whenever you think it would be dramatic. I will come in and keep ears and eyes on the ground and touch up any stragglers. The rest of you, do what you can do. Ooh, so Bounty, you can cloak in the middle of them, and see if you can't get a sucker punch in.
What am I currently feeling after I put the necklace on? Can I even respond?
You can respond because you didn't take yourself out of the action, but you felt it felt like someone was like wrenching at your skeleton, like someone tried to wrench your skeleton out of your body.
And Hadera, I think you're there for crowd control. Make sure that the villains are kept separate from the public. It'd be bad PR if anyone got hurt on our watch.
So yeah, we'll start asking questions from the team now. I know the first one. You don't have influence on everybody. Not even close. What is your purpose? And then we will see the purpose of everyone else in this battle.
My purpose is for us to perform well together as a team on camera. Bounty,
do you share that outlook?
No, I want to beat up whoever just zapped me.
Okay, so we know that automatically answers that question. I don't think your team is ill-prepared. Everyone was telling you to, this will probably attract villains, so I think you all have been sort of on guard. And does anyone mistrust O?
Oh, I trust her implicitly.
Okay, it looks like you guys are starting this battle with 2 team. So I think as the 3 who were signing autographs are closer to the outer reaches, and I think Neutron is correct me if I'm wrong, but you're flying to where the O has pointed you.
Mm-hmm.
You 4 will arrive at the entrance as several bodyguards. I think you see the bodyguards standing outside in a line. And they bring up their guns and you're like, halt! Take no more steps! And you see this old woman, this is your Obachan Neutron. She looks like she could be.
Oh.
And she starts snapping her fingers in time to the alarms, and then she snaps on a 4 count. All the alarms cease at once, but then you feel the pulse of their sonic energy directed at the guards, and it just bowls them over. And she smiles and says, I think from the alarms you hear it's like, "Surprise, motherfuckers! We're the neophytes."
God.
And but I think since he is the one so perturbed, Bounty, what is your first action as you see this collection of weirdos coming towards you?
Actually, I think I have, if you don't mind me interrupting, I have 2 things that I think I can impact the fight.
Go ahead.
Okay, great. So, first of all, do you mind if I roll physical dice?
No, I do not.
Okay. I did that before and I realized I didn't ask. So the first thing I have is I've got a protege move which has been reading the files. So since I've seen them, I've learned something about the superhero world through the mentor's resources. Roll superior. I got an 8 on the dice, and my superior is a 2, so that's a 10. On a 10 plus, ask the GM a follow-up question. I tell the team one important detail that I've discovered from my studies, and and you will tell me. The GM will tell me what, if anything, seems different from what I remember. From my studies, from Stitches, I think that he's identified the weak point out of these 5. Which one is the weakest? The one to go after in order to break up the group. And I don't know them all. You said that this is an elderly woman, an older woman.
I will, since you got a 10+, you know the neophytes as Sewer Rat, Pagan, and Dame Zola. Pagan was the pretty black woman you saw at the head of the pentagram. Sewer Rat is the ugly vampire, and Dame Zola is the Hot Topic reject. The old lady who just did the sound manipulation and the Prince lookalike are new members. So I think you don't have any solid information on them. They're new from the Metablast, it seems. But you know, if you take out Pagan, her magic is the only thing keeping Sewer Rat from being burned by the sun, and Sewer Rat is the leader of the team.
Fantastic. Okay, so that makes sense. So you will tell me something that seems a little bit different. Maybe that's the new team members?
New team members.
Okay. And then I ask you a follow-up. Follow-up is... what is the weakness to Dame Zola's... I think it was Dame Zola's magic.
No, Pagan's magic.
To Pagan's magic.
Pagan's magic requires either physical implements or concentration. If you do the comic book Knock Her Out, all her magic stops being concentrated on. And if you remove her from her components, she cannot focus on her magic.
Okay, that makes sense. And so I relay that you should go after the magical leader, the magical person. She's preventing the leader from taking damage at the moment from the sun.
Correct.
And hit them. See if you can knock her out. If you can't knock her out, incapacitate her and get her away from her gadgets that she has, magical gadgets.
Yeah, or like maybe teleport her a few miles away and see if she can focus on the magic then.
Yeah, perfect.
And you said you had another move that might affect this?
I have mindful of your surroundings. When I assess the situation before entering a fight, I can ask another question. I think I got all the questions I wanted from then reading the files, so I think I'm good.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, so Bounty, it seems that you're probably the most mad, and you were told by the protege there is a magic user, and who she is. You can identify who did this spell to you. What are you doing?
So I immediately fly in front of those fools. They just yelled, "We are the neophytes."
The neophytes, yes.
Yeah, I tear out the necklace and show it more like the neofuckers. Is that yours?
And I think you see Pagan throw her necklace down. It's like, you were stupid enough to put that on. Poe, get him. And this raven starts flying down from the tree, flies close to her. She waves her hand, and it is like the size of a cougar now, and flying up towards you.
So I immediately turn on the cloaking and disappear, fly up, and I try to go down straight in her head and pow.
Okay, so directly engage a threat.
Anytime. Just hopefully it will be on my side this time. Another 6/6 would be lovely. That's danger, right?
That's danger.
So that's a 7. 6 plus 1 is 7.
Okay. Choose one option from the list.
The list is here.
Is this mine or yours?
Let's see.
Did you have?
Let's see. Resist or avoid their blows. Take something from them. Create an opportunity. Impress, surprise, or frighten. I think the last one. Impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition. I want to punch her in the face.
Okay. And I think pretty much like you do go invisible. You fly over the Raven as it's shooting towards you, and you land down, punch at her, and let me check my. I'm going to pull up the neophytes themselves because they're going to take some conditions and things of that nature. But yeah, you punch her right in the face, and I'm going to mark that condition for her, which means she makes a. I think the move she makes, I'm going to like just say that was her enhancing her familiar to be combat ready. So I think like she, you punch her in the face, she grabs your wrist, tries to hold you back, and keep you ready and pinned for the Raven to come get you.
Yeah, I don't believe in magic, bitch. I'll keep punching.
Yeah, so you guys are seeing, and I think Tasha, you're out here. You wore flats and comfortable clothing, so you've gotten out here pretty well, and maybe you teleported out here. But you see these 5 individuals. You see one wrestling with Bounty. But what is your move?
Are you watching closely?
Oh dear.
Are you? Because if you're
I
watching closely, you're doing exactly what you shouldn't be doing. Because I have psychic weapons. So what I'm going to do is broadcast the scream that starts off Alice in Chains, then Bones, into the brains, directly into the brains of our opponents at about, well, the equivalent of 250 decibels.
Okay. So yeah, roll superior.
That is a 7 plus 2 is a 9. Do we have any team?
We have 2 team in case anyone wants to spend that team to help you.
Well, if somebody spends that team to help, that gets me up to a 10, and I get to choose 3 items or options.
Yeah, I think I'll help you. And this is something I'm doing over the video feed that I have as I'm running towards where the fight's happening.
Mhm.
And I help you with positioning about where everything is.
All right. So out of the 4 options, I think that creates an opportunity. We expose a weakness or flaw, and we confuse them for some time. Although in the fiction, I think that would probably be better framed as they're basically grabbing their heads because, well, Lane Staley's yelling is nothing to be trifled with.
Yeah, and I think if you don't mind, the exposed flaw is that you've taken away Pagan's concentration, so she can't focus on her spell to keep Sewer Rat from being burned. And I think like the confusion is that while this is happening, the magic fades. There's almost like this glittery veil lifted off Sewer Rat really quickly, and his skin begins smoking, and he catches fire. And you see Maverick. Let me check their names again. Just glad I wrote this down.
Dame Zola, Pagan, Sewer Rat, and those
Maverick
are the...
Mystic, yes. And Maverick Mystic throws himself over Sewer Rat and starts creating this big conglomeration of cosmic energy over them to keep the sun off. And but like everyone else is just sort of screwing up right now. They can't focus because of the scream in their head. They can't really get their bearings. One's being punched in the face as well. So you have caused quite a bit of trauma. And
Yay. I'm happy.
yeah, so I think Hadera, you have been tasked with crowd control, and there are a lot of people out here trying to take pictures.
Yeah, I think I probably like shout out like, "Eat my fucking pumpkin, bitches!" And I throw that pumpkin out, and I probably activated some like my plant affinity, and it kind of like grows wildly out of control over everyone.
Are you using freak or danger?
I think I'm using freak. Like I'm trying to control exposure here and tangle up the battlefield. I'm not really trying to hurt anyone right now.
Okay. Roll plus freak. Your best stat.
Yeah. I mean, you say that, but with how I usually roll in these games. Let's see. And that's an 11. So, going back over to moves.
It works.
Yeah, I just do it. Okay.
Yes, but I think you throw the pumpkin out, and it starts growing like it's almost in a Disney cartoon. But instead of turning into a gigantic carriage, it lands over Dame Zola, and it's formed in. Did you carve out any face on it, like Halloween pumpkin?
Let's see. This is too early for emoticons, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then I probably just carved a middle finger into it, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's she's looking out from the middle finger, and she's trying to reach for her dice, which are just out of her grasp.
Give her one too.
Yeah,
sorry.
But you've captured Dame Zola, and that leaves. And I think with them still, I think the team is trying to get away, or at least salvage what they can to make a run from it now. As Neutron, you are flying in the air, and you get to react. What are you doing?
Cool. So it sounds like things got pretty well foobarred. Do I see anybody who looks like they're not trying to break and run that is still causing mayhem?
The closest to mayhem you see is that giant raven about to dive bomb Bounty.
Oh, well, I will stop that. That would be good. So giant raven, dive bombing Bounty, I can fly. I'll just body check this giant raven.
Are you using your savior move, pulling your punches?
Of course I am. I mean, why would I actually try to hurt anybody? These guys are so incompetent. That
lame.
So yeah, roll plus savior.
All right. My savior is 2. Here we go. That is 13.
Damn, choose you have one choice taken away from you, so choose 2 of the 3.
Yeah, I want to resist their blows. That seems smart. And create an opportunity for one of my allies.
Understood. I think the opportunity is going to be given to O. What happens as I think you get in front, you body check the Raven. The magic that was augmenting it to be able to fight sort of fails, and Pagan falls backward from one of the punches, no longer holding on to Bounty, catches Poe the Raven, and quickly wipes the blood from her nose, throws it on the ground, and I think O can see from the camera it making little symbols from the splatter, and she casts this ritual really quick, and in a sudden flash they're gone. But the opportunity is that you know these symbols, you can research them and probably pinpoint where they've gone. But I think this is a very swift victory, and by the time O is out there directly, the other team is gone. People are cheering. The paparazzi are just taking pictures, and I think the final scene is Dynasty Pearl coming out and clapping and just saying, we hope you've enjoyed this promo episode of Generation Xtra. Catch us full next week. on MTV, VH1, BET, any musical network that is worth its weight will have Generation Xtra. And raises her hand, credits roll, and so the pilot is over. I will end our broadcast and we can debrief.
Oh, we have into session stuff.
Oh, end of session stuff. Thank you very much. It has been a while since I masked. So yes, I will ask in the order of my screen this time, since I've been screwing the order up so much. So Q, how does O feel about the team? Or how do you feel about your end of session? Did you
So let's see. I felt like I grew closer to the team because I felt like that went pretty well. I didn't intend to take over, but because I had the information, I started spouting it out, and it seemed like we worked well together. So I think I'm close to the team.
who are you giving influence to?
Let's see. I think I'm going to give influence to Bounty. They're the person who stood out and went in for an attack first. So.
Yeah, and you can clear your condition or mark potential.
I like potential. I'll do that.
Okay. Up next is Erez. How does Bounty feel about the team? And remember, this is the one way you can hand out influence, or at least one of them.
Yeah, I think I will grow closer to the team. This has worked well, and someone gave me some information that was very helpful in punching someone's face. So yeah, I'll give influence to O. Right back at ya.
And
Which means I've given my first influence.
Yay! Do you clear a condition or mark potential?
Always potential. It's the only way I get them. Oh wait, did I fail
It's
something?
experience.
No, I did not. Yeah, I know. Like that's the only way I ever get potential.
Unlike the last game I was in, where someone earned 2 advances in one session.
Wow, you must have rolled a lot.
3 of them were powerful blows, so it wasn't all bad, but still. Hey, Hedera, how do you feel about the team? Or how do you feel at the end of the session? You are muted.
I guess I'm closer to the team. I got rid of the fucking pumpkin at least. So, yeah, I guess I'll give influence to Jane, just because I have to like, Hedera is gonna give props not to the people that led the team, but to the person that made that screamed in everyone's minds. I feel like.
Oh, so Tasha gets influence.
Oh, Tasha, right? For some reason I was thinking Jane.
Nice. So Neutron, how do you feel? I mean, it's been an interesting day for you.
Oh, I feel so much closer to this team. We didn't screw up. My grandfather has got to be proud. This is the best. And I think is the person that made me feel most welcome, coordinating the attack, just like old times. So I'm going to give her influence, but you already have influence over me, so you get to let's see, you get to adjust my labels.
Yes.
Take a look. Let's see.
I'll mark potential as my thing for growing closer.
So I think I'm going to mark your savior up and your mundane down.
Wow, my savior's a 3? Wow, okay. All right.
And Tasha, how do you feel?
I think Tasha's feeling a little detached. There was the whole thing with Dynasty Pearl at the beginning. Just like, what am I even doing here? It's like I'm signing stuff. I don't believe in autographs. I just maybe catching a paycheck wasn't as good of an idea as it sounded. So yeah, I think right now she's feeling like she's growing away from the team because she doesn't feel it's like everybody's like not at cross purposes, but it's clear that like at least 3 of the other team members are moving in a different direction. So I think so with that, I think she's going to take the influence away from O.
Gasp.
You know, because I think she feels like she and Hedera are in a similar kind of situation, and you know she's kind of crushing on Neutron a little bit. So, but yeah, I think she's just like kind of like that old Blue Rodeo song. And I wonder what am I doing here? So.
Okay. And with that, I'll end the session. Thank you for the reminder, Rich.